Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, My So-Called Healthy Life, where every day I'm reading positive affirmations and meditation books to kind of help us get our day started, or restarted, or balanced out, to just kind of have a little thought out there in the world. It really helps me, and if you're new to my channel, typically what I do every morning is I get up and I make a cup of coffee, and I sit outside on the front porch swing, and I read like 4 or 5 of these little meditation books, and I just kind of get centered for the day, if that makes sense. And then it just kind of gives me things to think about, things to focus on throughout the day. So I try to stay more positive instead of falling into the negative, which I think is really easy for a lot of us. I'm actually right now making some tea in the kitchen, because as the day progresses, I don't like to drink as much caffeine, and I always drink like a fountain pop in the evening, so I try to drink like water and decaffeinated tea throughout the day to kind of keep me calm and balanced, because if you can't tell, I'm a naturally energetic person anyway. So, all 5 of my affirmations and meditations today were really, really good. And so I had a really hard time picking which one I was going to read. But the one I picked was from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations by Linda Picone. It's listed below. As you guys know, this is my favorite one. I like the melody. I have hair. I finally did my hair for one day, and it's like all in my face and on my nose. And I really like the Melody Beatty ones if you've never read them before. But for me, I always constantly like to find something new. And so this is like a new one for me in the last couple years that I've actually picked up and started reading on a daily basis. The other ones, I mean, I almost know the meditations by heart because I've read them for so many years. So today is May 7th, Getting Results. And here is the quote for today by Jesse Jackson. Both tears and sweat are salty, but they render a different result. Tears will get you sympathy, sweat will get you change. It takes a lot of energy to whine and complain about how unfair things are. Energy we are often too willing to expend. Maybe we're right. Maybe we really have been treated unfairly. Maybe someone has it in for us. Maybe it's raining on the day we wanted to take a picnic. We do better to figure out how to turn the situation into something positive, and we'd annoy our friends a lot less. Thought for the day. If I'm tempted to complain and cry when things don't go my way, I can get myself moving instead. Do I need to work harder, try something different, or just change my plans? Chances are, what I need to do is simple and well within my control. I very often like to complain that things aren't fair, or I'm always kind of like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, and I understand that's just kind of how the world works, but why me, why me? And it's interesting because I talk a lot in here about my recovery. For my first year of sobriety, my sponsor had me focus a lot on acceptance and looking at accepting, the world as it is today, and that it's not so much what needs to be changed in the world as what needs to be changed in my attitude and my perspective. So I think that that's really a good meditation for me. I want to share a little story that I always share with people about this. My husband just has this naturally. He never complains. Never complains, really, ever. And I don't, maybe it's because I grew up kind of with a mother who complained and a dad that was kind of, sarcastic, cynical. I don't know, that it's kind of part of my language. But I remember when Alex and I first got together, and it was like, we had started dating in August, and our birthdays are both in June. So it was the following June. We had been together for about, 8 months. And he had, planned this huge birthday party for himself at this kind of day pool party kind of thing. And he had invited, and you could rent cabanas, and the cabanas were very expensive. And any food and alcohol that you had went towards the cabana. And so of course, well, is everybody gonna show up? How much is it gonna cost? How much is it gonna be a person? Alex is like, I invited 40 people. It's gonna end up being $10 or $15 a person. Don't worry about it. Everybody can get what they want. He was totally not worried about it, whatever, right? And so we get there, and it's raining, and it's Father's Day, and or Father's Day weekend, and so nobody showed up. It was Alex and I, and 3 of his other friends, and we were sitting there, and we had an okay day, except for the fact that I was consumed with worrying about how we're going to pay for this cabana, and that nobody showed up, and I was so worried that Alex wasn't having a good time. And in my head, I just was like, this is so unfair. This is so unfair. Alex goes to everything. Alex shows up to everything. He is such a suit up and show up kind of guy. And I was like, why wouldn't people show up to his birthday party? I don't know. It really hurt my heart for him. And so anyway, it was towards the end of the day, And I had said about the cabana like 50 times. Well, the guy that like put on this event like was friends of ours, and he was like, don't worry about it. And he was like, if you guys, whatever foods you buy and your drinks will go towards that, and I'll just cut you a discount. And he was like very generous, extremely generous. So all my worries all day long about this cabana never even came to fruition, which is interesting because I had an old friend of mine that used to say 90% of those things that I worry about never even happened to begin with. And then when we left, I was like, did you have a good day? And Alex was like, oh my God, I had such a blast. It was so nice that there weren't so many people there. You know, we could get in and out of the pool. It was like really fun. And when the rain stopped, it was like beautiful outside. And I'm like, really? I go, Alex, you invited 40 people. Only 3 people showed up. He goes, okay, what's your point? And I said, Alex, you go to everything. Every bachelorette party, every bachelor party, every birthday party. You go to everything, right? And he goes, I would rather focus on the 3 people that showed up than focus on the 37 that didn't. He goes, Peter, life just isn't about living in the negative. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true. And that has been such a valuable lesson to me, you know, to take the situation that I'm given and turn it into something positive instead of bitching and complaining about like, you know, like, oh, the world has it out for me or something like that. No, the world doesn't have it out for any of us. That's just life, you know? And it's what we do with what we're handed. And as corny as it is, it goes back to that saying, like when life hands you lemons, you know, make lemonade. I mean, it's such a cheesy thing, but it's the truth, you know? Sometimes the most simplest concepts are the most valuable. So I love that meditation for today because, I a lot of times when I just go, oh, that's unfair. Well, there's a lot of things that are fair. The other thing and the last thing I'll leave you with is, in working in a treatment program with teenagers for 13 years, many, many days, almost every day, I heard the statement, this isn't fair, okay? This isn't fair, that's not fair, she gets to go, that's not fair, every day, right? And I worked with this woman and she was so calm, and I'll never forget, she looked at this kid one day and she goes, you would not want life to be fair. If life were fair, that might mean everybody was homeless, had no food, and was orphaned, you know? And I think we don't really think of that sometimes. We think of fair well, at least I do. I think of fair in regards to my own life experience, not somebody that has it much worse than I do, you know? So anyway, yeah, it's a great meditation for the day, and it's a good one to start the week on, isn't it? To be grateful, to live in gratitude for what I have, and to live with positivity. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.